Rain streaked the observation dome, turning the stars outside into trembling sparks. Mara pressed her forehead to the glass, tasting the silence. Her hands shook. "Do you hear it?" she whispered, though she knew no one could. Silence wasn't just absence, it was suffocating. Commander Elias leaned against the console, jaw tight, eyes sharper than the holographic readouts. "Hear what? The void?" Mara turned, voice raw. "Not void. The sound that ended 50,000 voices." He stiffened. His eyes flicked to the empty communication channels, still blinking dead. "They said it was a massacre, but it's more than numbers." The dome trembled, a low, unnatural hum vibrating through the metal floor. Neither flinched because humans did not flinch. "We have hours," Mara muttered, twisting her ring. "Hours before the next pulse hits. And we're alone." Elias' lips curved into a grim smile. "Alone? Yes. But alone is where humans get loudest." Outside, the stars blinked out one by one, swallowed by an invisible shadow that no sensor could trace. Mara's stomach twisted. She wanted to scream, wanted to curse the emptiness, but she didn't. She breathed, thinking. Humans always thought first, then acted, even when every instinct begged to run. "We need a plan that doesn't exist," she said. "We need a sound." Elias straightened, voice low, steady. "Then let's be the loudest thing in the universe." The dome's hum deepened, vibrating through bones and thoughts alike. Somewhere far beyond, a signal pulsed, a rhythm of death, precise and relentless. 50,000 lives gone in a single moment, and now the silence waited for them. Mara's fingers danced over the controls. "Do you ever wonder why it chose silence first?" Elias asked. "Because silence is the loudest warning a human can hear," she said. Outside, the shadow rippled, almost tasting them. "We have hours, Commander. Maybe minutes. Let's not waste them." For the first time in years, neither of them spoke of fear. Humans never wasted breath on it. A monitor flickered to life, showing a distant planet. Destroyed, hollowed, empty. Mara's chest tightened. "That could have been us," she whispered. Elias's eyes hardened. "Not us. Not if we make the right noise." The pulse shifted, a wave of pressure that sensors couldn't measure, yet Mara felt it in her bones. It was patient, intelligent, waiting. "They're studying us," Elias muttered. "Testing, calculating, counting our patience." Mara exhaled slowly, tasting resolve. Humans were always underestimated, always considered fragile. She smiled, faint and dangerous. "Let's teach them patience has a limit." The dome groaned. Outside, the void cracked like ice. A silhouette moved in the darkness, something too large, too deliberate to be natural. Neither Mara nor Elias looked away. Instead, they stepped closer to the console, closer to their humanity, closer to the weapon they hadn't yet built. "If we fail," Mara began. "We won't," Elias interrupted. "Humans don't fail when the universe listens." The hum grew, merging with their heartbeat. Somewhere in the black, the pulse paused, waiting for a sound that could rival the cosmos itself. Mara's eyes narrowed. "Then we'll give it one." And in that moment, as stars blinked out like candle flames in a windless room, humanity's first defiance began. Not with guns, not with shields, but with thought, with swagger, with the unshakable certainty that silence had underestimated them. And far away, the universe waited to hear what humans could do when pushed beyond fear. The bridge was a storm of lights and hums. Mara paced, her boots tapping like drumbeats against steel, while Elias hovered over the main console, scanning fragmented data streams. "We still don't know what it is," Mara said, voice tight, teeth clenched. "Every sensor fails beyond this radius. It's like it doesn't exist until it wants to." Elias didn't look up. "Then we make it exist on our terms." Mara swallowed. There was a time when words alone could comfort her. Not now. Silence had learned the language of death, and humans had to speak louder. Somewhere deep inside the ship, a vibration thrummed, not mechanical, but alive. It pulsed like a heartbeat, slow, deliberate, counting them. Mara pressed a hand to her chest. "It's thinking, and it's learning faster than we can anticipate." Elias's voice was a whisper, but it cut sharper than a laser. "Then we adapt faster." A new alarm flared. Red light painted the walls. The sensors had picked up movement. Shadows slicing the void, shapes that shifted and multiplied. "They're scouting," Mara said. "No, not scouting," Elias corrected, his eyes cold fire. "Probing. Testing our reactions. Trying to understand the sound humans make when they fight for survival." Mara swallowed hard. "And if it understands humans, then what?" Elias let out a short, sharp laugh. Then we remind it why humans dominate. A flicker appeared on the external monitors. A planet, not destroyed, but alive and strangely silent. No cities, no lights, nothing human, just an echo of existence. A faint pulse that mirrored the one now reaching them. It's sending signals through the planets, Mara realized. Communicating, learning faster than we can respond. Then we become unpredictable, Elias said, and loud. Mara frowned. Loud isn't enough. We need resonance, something it can't ignore. He nodded. Something beyond sound, beyond sensors. Something it can feel, something human. The ship's AI, small and precise, chimed in with a cold, neutral voice. Analysis suggests your survival probability decreases exponentially with time, unless countermeasures are deployed immediately. Mara's fingers slammed onto the console. Exponential or not, humans do not bow to probability. The AI paused as if considering her defiance, then replied, Acknowledged. Probability adjusted. Humans remain undetermined variables. Outside, the void shifted again. Closer now, tendrils of darkness curling like smoke over stars. Mara shivered, not from cold, but from the weight of anticipation. Do you ever wonder what it's like to be human to something that doesn't feel anything? She murmured. Elias studied the shifting shadows. I wonder what it feels when we do. Because when we strike, it will feel everything. The bridge hummed with tension. Communications flickered again. Static whispered in broken patterns, a rhythm Mara could almost decode. She leaned in. It's trying to speak. Elias shook his head. It doesn't speak, it tests. Every beat is a question. Every silence a trap. Mara clenched her fists. Then we answer in the only language it hasn't heard yet. Elias's eyes sparkled. The loudest one. Hours passed in the blink of a cosmic eye. Every crew member moved with precision, each aware of the impending threat. Their shadows stretched across the walls, and yet they stood unwavering. A sudden jolt rocked the ship. Mara caught the railing, eyes wide. It's accelerating its pulse. Elias barked orders. Stabilizers full power. Shield matrices, reroute. We are not prey. We are humanity. The pulse hit not like a sound wave, but a weight in the bones vibrating through steel and marrow alike. The console lights flickered. Alarm screamed, but Mara's voice cut through. We fight with everything we are. With our minds, our bodies, our hearts. It will hear us. Elias smiled grimly, fists clenched. And if it doesn't, we make it. The bridge quaked. Outside, the void seemed to lean closer, waiting for a crack in resolve. Mara's pulse raced, thoughts sharp, calculation and instinct merged into a singular drive. We have minutes, she said, maybe seconds. Make the sound count. And in that heartbeat, the crew understood what humans had always known. Even when silence tries to consume them, humans will respond with the fiercest, most unrelenting noise the universe has ever known. Somewhere in the darkness, the pulse paused as if listening, and Mara smiled through clenched teeth. Then let's give it a reason to fear being silent ever again. The ship quivered as if the universe itself had taken hold of it. Mara gripped the railing, eyes scanning the infinite black outside. Shadows rippled across the stars, twisting in impossible shapes that made the hair on her arms rise. It's not just watching, she said, voice low, almost a whisper. It's learning from every flicker of us, every hesitation. Elias leaned over the console, his hands moving with precision, recalibrating shields, rerouting power. Then we teach it faster than it can adapt. Humans are always 3 steps ahead, Mara. Always. The hum outside intensified, a vibration that felt like a heartbeat turned monstrous. It pulsed through the ship, through nerves and bone, as if measuring their patience, their resolve, their fear. Mara clenched her fists. I can feel it in my chest. Every second it's like it's pressing, asking, testing. Elias nodded grimly. Then we respond in ways it won't expect. We don't just survive. We dominate. The AI interrupted, voice clipped and precise. Sensors indicate external entity has begun manipulating stellar frequencies to disrupt ship functions. Probability of system compromise increasing. Mara pressed a hand to her forehead. We're already on that edge. It's not probability that matters, it's execution. A flicker appeared on the visual display. A cluster of asteroids, but moving unnaturally, aligning with rhythmic precision. The pulse was orchestrating, arranging the universe into a weapon. It's building something, Mara realized. Not just attacking, but preparing. Elias's eyes narrowed. Then we destroy the plan before it begins. Humans always strike first when threatened. The crew moved like a single organism, every movement deliberate. Engineers recalibrated the shields. Tacticians plotted trajectories. Scientists scanned the shifting void for weaknesses. Mara's gaze flicked to the empty comms channels. 50,000 voices silenced. She swallowed hard. All those lives. Gone. And if we fail? Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. We won't fail. Humanity doesn't bow to silence. We scream back. The pulse surged again, and this time the vibration wasn't just around the ship, it was inside. Machinery stuttered, lights flickered, and the air itself seemed to hum with pressure. Mara staggered slightly. It's inside us now. It feels our thoughts, our fears. Elias smiled grimly, teeth tight. Then we make it feel our courage. Outside, the asteroid cluster shifted, forming an array almost like a constellation. Yet it was a weapon, every rock aligned with lethal intent. It's art, Mara muttered, eyes wide. A language of death. Then we write our own language, Elias replied. One it can't ignore. Mara turned toward the crew, heart hammering. We have one chance. One moment to respond, to create a sound that will echo through galaxies one humans alone could produce. The crew fell silent, each heartbeat synchronized with the tremor of the void. Engineers injected bursts of energy into the resonance chambers. Tacticians plotted patterns for maximum disruption. Scientists calibrated frequencies that no alien mind could anticipate. Mara's fingers danced across the console, pulling together every tool, every spark of ingenuity. It thinks it controls time, she muttered. But humans control the moment. Elias leaned close. Then make it count. Make it impossible to ignore. Make it human. The ship shuddered violently as a streak of darkness tore past the observation window. The pulse reacted instantly, bending reality, twisting space as if trying to swallow them. Mara braced herself. Now, she commanded, voice steady, trembling only inside. The resonance chambers ignited, and the ship shuddered with a force that was both sound and thought. A scream that merged calculation, intuition, and raw human defiance. Outside, the asteroid array fractured, thrown off by waves of energy that no alien pulse could predict. The void recoiled, ripples of darkness pulsing like a wounded beast. Mara's pulse raced, sweat streaking her face. Elias shouted over the roar. This is human ingenuity. This is what they underestimated. The hum of the universe stilled, a silence that felt like both victory and waiting. Something had changed, Mara realized. The pulse paused, uncertain now, as if hearing the first real sound it could not decode. And in that fleeting heartbeat, Mara felt the raw truth of humanity. Even in the face of annihilation, even when 50,000 voices are silenced, humans can respond with a force that cannot be ignored. A sound that echoes beyond stars. A defiance that teaches the universe what it means to confront humanity itself. The void waited, but for the first time, Mara smiled. Not out of relief, but because the fight had only begun. The ship trembled as though caught in the lungs of the cosmos itself. Mara pressed her palms to the railing, staring out at the void where shadows twisted like living smoke. Elias stood beside her, calm but tense, scanning the monitors that screamed with data only a human mind could begin to parse. It's reacting faster than we anticipated, Mara said. Her voice was tight, every syllable sharp as glass. Every pulse we send, every maneuver, it adapts in seconds. Elias's jaw clenched. Then we have to adapt faster. Humans aren't measured in seconds. We're measured in ingenuity and courage. That's the sound it hasn't learned yet. A sudden vibration rippled through the hull, low and deliberate like the heartbeat of something monstrous. The resonance chambers hummed in counterpoint. But the pulse outside began shifting unpredictably, twisting space around asteroids and dead stars into impossible angles. Mara's stomach dropped. It's learning to bend the environment. It's not just attacking, it's evolving. Then evolution will meet resistance, Elias said, his voice tight with controlled fury. Humans evolve faster. Somewhere deep within the ship, alarms blared, but not in panic. Every crew member was poised, calculating, ready. Mara's fingers flew over the console, analyzing patterns, predicting the pulse's next moves. If we miscalculate even by a fraction, she trailed off, swallowing hard. Elias didn't answer. He didn't need to. Human resolve spoke louder than any words. The AI's voice chimed, crisp and unnerving. Probability models now indicate 97% chance of structural compromise unless countermeasures are recalculated immediately. Mara exhaled slowly. Probability doesn't scare humans. Outside, shadows bent around the stars, forming a network of impossible geometry. It was beautiful in a terrifying way, art shaped by annihilation. It's thinking, Mara muttered. It's aware of our strategies. Elias's eyes narrowed.
Then we become unpredictable.
That's all humans have to do. Make the universe hesitate. The ship shuddered violently, throwing Mara against the console. She caught herself, eyes wide, pulse hammering. It's inside the ship now. Not physically, but in the energy and the resonance. Elias met her gaze. Then we strike with what it can't touch, our minds, our creativity, our will. Mara swallowed and nodded. The crew moved in synchrony like a single organism with 1,000 hearts. Every thought focused on one goal: survival, defiance, dominance. Engineers amplified the resonance chambers, shifting the frequencies to overlap in unpredictable patterns. Scientists recalibrated every sensor, every signal, bending the ship's responses into chaotic perfection. Mara's eyes darted to the external monitors. The asteroid network was no longer merely aligned. It was forming vectors, trajectories designed to crush, to annihilate. It's building a weapon, she breathed. It's going to hit us in minutes. Elias's hands hovered over the controls, deliberate and precise. Then we counter before it's built. Humans don't wait. We act. Mara's pulse raced. She felt the hum of the universe, the pressure of the void, and the weight of 50,000 silenced voices pressing on her chest. If we fail, she began. Elias gripped her shoulder, voice steel. We won't fail. Humans make noise that reverberates across galaxies. That's what it hasn't felt yet. Our defiance. The pulse shifted suddenly, a wave of energy bending the ship, cracking shields, rattling the floor beneath their boots. Mara gritted her teeth. It's testing our reactions. Every move we make, every beat of our hearts, it's analyzing. Then let it analyze, Elias said, voice low but ferocious. We'll give it something no calculation can predict. The ship's engines roared. The resonance chambers reached peak output, a symphony of human ingenuity and raw audacity. Outside, the asteroid network fractured under the unpredictable patterns of human countermeasures. The void recoiled, not fully defeated but unsure, forced to pause. Mara exhaled, voice trembling but proud. It's hesitating. It's never hesitated before. Elias's lips curved into a grim smile. Then we remind it what humans sound like when they refuse to be silent. Silence followed, heavy and expectant. And somewhere deep in the void, Mara felt it. The first real uncertainty in an entity that had been flawless, relentless, unstoppable. Humanity had spoken, and for the first time the universe paused to listen. The bridge was a cage of tension and light. Mara leaned over the console, fingers trembling but precise, eyes glued to the shifting void outside. Shadows twisted like serpents, bending stars and asteroids into impossible patterns. It's learning faster than we anticipated, she whispered, her voice sharp with urgency. Every adjustment we make, every countermeasure, it predicts it almost instantly. Elias stood behind her, silent, letting her words settle like coals. Then we stop predicting. We improvise. Humans aren't meant to follow rules laid down by death itself. We break them. The hum outside grew into a roar, vibrating through steel, bone, and thought. It wasn't just pressure, it was intent. Mara pressed her palms to the console, forcing her own heartbeat to sync with the ship's vibrations. It's inside the ship. Not physically, but in every pulse, every wave. It's probing us. Elias' jaw tightened. Then let's give it something it can't probe. Chaos, creativity, humanity. Somewhere deep in the ship, the AI's voice cut through, monotone but unnerving. Probability models now indicate a 99.7% chance of catastrophic failure within 23 minutes, unless immediate action is taken. Mara laughed, short and sharp. Probability doesn't scare humans, not when survival depends on defiance. Outside, the asteroid network moved like clockwork, forming angles meant to crush, vectors meant to annihilate. It's building a weapon, Mara realized, stomach tightening, and we're in its chamber of fire. Elias's hands danced over the controls, rerouting energy, amplifying resonance chambers, bending power into patterns no alien mind could anticipate. Then we strike before it's ready, he said, voice low but certain. We'll make it feel something it never knew existed, us. The pulse shifted suddenly, violent and precise. The ship shuddered, alarms screaming, floors trembling. Mara gritted her teeth, heart hammering. It's testing our limits, reading our fear. Good, Elias said. Then we show it what humans do when fear is just fuel. Engineers shouted over the din, rerouting power into unpredictable bursts. Scientists twisted sensors into chaotic alignment, making signals impossible to track. Mara's eyes darted to the external monitors. The asteroid weapon began accelerating, targeting the ship with deadly precision. We have minutes, maybe seconds, she said, voice tight. One mistake and we're the next 50,000 silenced. Elias nodded, fists clenched. Then we make every second count. Humans don't wait to survive. We act, we dominate, we echo. The resonance chambers roared to life. Energy cascaded through the hull. Waves of sound, thought, and ingenuity merging into something impossible. Outside, the asteroid network fractured, thrown off by patterns it could not predict, vectors disrupted by human ingenuity. The void itself seemed to hesitate. Mara felt it in her bones, the first real pause in an entity that had never paused before. It's uncertain, she whispered. For the first time, it doesn't know what we'll do next. Elias's lips curved into a grim smile. Exactly. That's the sound it hasn't felt yet. The ship rocked violently as the pulse shifted again, bending space and energy around them. Mara held onto the console, knuckles white, heart racing. We can't stop now. Every delay is a victory for it. Elias met her gaze, eyes burning. Then we escalate. Humans don't whisper when survival is at stake. We roar. Mara exhaled, feeling the weight of 50,000 lost lives pressing on her, driving her, sharpening her. Then let's make this roar count. Let's give the universe a sound it will never forget. The bridge shuddered once, twice, then settled. Outside, the asteroid network broke apart, deflected by unpredictable waves of human ingenuity. The void stilled, almost reverent, as if listening. Mara's chest heaved. We've delayed it. Elias nodded, voice steady, fierce. Delayed. Not defeated. It will adapt again, but now it knows humans are not prey. We respond. And when we respond, we dominate. Mara's fingers hovered over the controls, mind racing. Then we prepare. The next strike will be worse, faster, smarter. Elias' gaze swept over the crew, each member tense, alive, ready. And so will we. Humans never stop. Humans never falter. Humans never stay silent. Outside, in the endless void, something shifted. The pulse, once absolute, now hesitated. And in that hesitation, Mara felt the raw truth of humanity. Even when the universe seems unbeatable, even when 50,000 voices are silenced, humans always respond. And when they do, they echo across galaxies. The void was quiet now, but only just. Mara stood on the bridge, shoulders tense, eyes scanning the black beyond the shattered stars. Elias was beside her, silent, hands clasped behind his back, watching the same darkness that had stolen 50,000 voices. The pulse had stopped, or perhaps it was listening. Either way, humanity had drawn its first line. Do you think it's gone? Mara asked, voice soft, almost afraid to break the silence. Elias shook his head. Gone, no, hesitant? Maybe, but gone? Never. Nothing like this ever disappears. It waits, it watches, it adapts. The hum returned, faint at first, a subtle vibration that wormed its way into bones and nerves. Mara's chest tightened. It's coming back. And next time, it won't hesitate. Elias's jaw tightened. Then we escalate again. Humans don't cower at threats. We amplify, we innovate, we respond with every ounce of ourselves. Somewhere in the ship, the AI chimed. Sensors indicate residual energy from prior countermeasures. Probability models now suggest continued survival depends on escalation of human activity and ingenuity. Mara let out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. Probability doesn't decide anything. Humans do. The bridge shuddered lightly, a reminder that the void beyond was still alive, calculating, pulsing. Mara's fingers traced over the console, pulling up the energy outputs, resonance patterns, and chaotic signal alignments they had created. We've learned its rhythm. We've felt its weight now. We give it something permanent. Elias' eyes gleamed. Something it can never forget. Something unmistakably human. Outside, the void flickered. The shadows twisted, forming shapes both terrifying and beautiful, almost mocking, but Mara didn't flinch. She had seen fear, had felt its pulse in her veins, and yet she had survived. She had responded. She had roared. And she knew humanity never stopped at survival. Mara's pulse quickened, mind sharp. We can't just react anymore. We have to dominate the response. Every move, every sound, every calculation must be ours first. Elias nodded, voice low and steady. Exactly. Humans don't just fight back. We reshape the battlefield. We turn the universe itself into our instrument. Mara's hands danced across the console, energy surging through resonance chambers, creating waves that bent space, sound, and thought into an impossible symphony. The pulse reacted, attempting to adapt, but every move it made was anticipated, countered, overwhelmed. It's trying to read us, Mara whispered. Trying to predict. Elias's lips curved into a fierce smile. Then it will fail. Humans are unpredictable. Our minds, our hearts, our instincts, they are a sound no entity can calculate. Outside, the void shivered. Shadows cracked. Stars flickered. Asteroids broke from impossible orbits, deflected by waves of ingenuity and raw human audacity. The pulse recoiled, uncertain for the first time, caught in patterns it could not predict, drowned in a resonance uniquely human. Mara exhaled, feeling every heartbeat, every shiver of power in the ship. We did it, she whispered, almost afraid to claim victory. Elias shook his head slowly. Not yet. We only survived. But we've taught it a lesson. Humans respond. And when we respond, we roar. The hum of the universe stilled, heavy and expectant. And somewhere far beyond, the pulse paused, listening, calculating, learning, but aware now that humanity was no longer prey. Mara turned to the crew. Each face was tense, proud, alive. Each had felt the weight of silence and chosen defiance. We've survived what destroyed 50,000 voices, she said, voice steady, resolute. But we've done more than survive. We've reminded the universe that humans are never quiet, never broken, never bowed. Elias's gaze swept across the endless black. And if the universe wants to challenge us again? Mara's lips curved into a fierce, unyielding smile. Then we respond with the loudest sound it has ever heard. Not just for us, for every voice it tried to silence. Outside, the void shimmered and pulsed, aware of the defiance, tasting it, recoiling from it. Humanity had spoken, and the echo would resonate across the cosmos. Mara stepped forward, chest high, pulse steady. Elias's hand rested on the console. We are humans, he said. And when humanity decides to roar, nothing can stop it. Silence returned, not oppressive this time, but full of potential, full of watchful respect. Mara looked out at the stars, and in that quiet she felt it. The weight of the lost, the pride of the living, and the unbreakable truth of their species. Humans did not bow. Humans did not fear silence. Humans answered, and their answer was eternal. And somewhere in the black, the pulse waited uncertain, knowing now that it had encountered something it could not break, something it could never truly silence.